I recently drove 479 kilometers in the Tesla Model Y. It was my first time driving it, and it impressed me in ways I didn't expect, and it also disappointed me in ways that I probably also did not expect. In this video, we're going to talk about the good and the bad, honest review, first take, first reaction to the Tesla Model Y. All right, as mentioned, this is my first time in the Tesla Model Y. Let's start off with the bad, the things that I didn't like, because honestly, I liked most things, but the bad, let's get to it. Okay, I haven't seen too many people talk about this, but I find the turning performance, the turning radius of the Tesla Model Y to be terrible. I think it's even worse than the Tesla Model 3. We had the car for about 6 days, I think, and we're driving it around Adelaide and down the coast around the McLaren Vale, out in the countryside. It was great. But around town, specifically in a very small car park. Now, if you're from Adelaide or if you've been there, you'll know the festival car park that's somewhere in the city there. That is a very small car park. And honestly, I was stressed trying to maneuver the Tesla Model Y around that car park without scratching it or scraping it or parking too close to some other car. Quite stressful. So I would say if you have a small car park, either at your home or your work, or if you need to maneuver around small streets wherever you live, I'd say you probably want to reconsider getting this car because it may not be appropriate. Not only is it quite big, but like I said, the turning performance is just really, really bad. What a lot of cars would be able to handle in a 3-point turn, in the Tesla Model Y, you'd have to do a 27-point turn. It's really, really terrible. Something else that I don't like about Teslas in general, this is also true for the Tesla Model Y, is that when the car is in reverse, you can't do anything with that center screen. I find it so annoying. Like, for example, sometimes I'll be trying to reverse out of a driveway and I'll just want to know, oh, do I need to go that way or do I need to go that way? And you can't do it. I find that really frustrating. Now, if there is a way to change that setting, let me know. I haven't discovered it yet, and I've driven the Tesla Model 3 and the Tesla Model Y. But look, it's a little thing, but it does annoy me. So if you are in that situation and you want to figure out, hey, do we need to go left or right? Then I guess you'd have to take the car out of reverse, put it in either drive or park or something for a moment. Then you could look at the map display and try and figure out which way you need to go. Like, it's a relatively small thing, but it's something that does annoy me. By the way, if you want to get all of my notes about the Tesla Model Y and every other EV that I drive, click on the first link below in the description and I'll send everything right to you. All right, autopilot, I don't love it. But before we talk more about it, I know it's not FSD. I know it's not full self-driving. I would love to try FSD. Now, earlier this year, I drove the Tesla Model 3 in Western Australia, and the autopilot, I thought it was okay, like not too bad. I don't know if it's a different software version or just, I don't know, you tell me, but I really didn't enjoy it when I was driving the Tesla Model Y, both around town because I felt like, hey, I don't really trust it. It's a relatively small, tight space here. There's a lot of pedestrians, a lot of other vehicles around. But equally, I didn't like it on those outback country roads where maybe the lines aren't marked very well, or maybe you're on a dirt road. Just didn't like it at all. The only times that I really had any amount of confidence in it were situations where we might be on a freeway, maybe where there might be some traffic around, but the lines are well marked and there's, the traffic is flowing. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, honestly. And yeah, you tell me what your experience with the autopilot is. Like I said, maybe it was just the version or the car, or maybe it was user error. So you tell me what you think about it. But personally speaking, not a big fan just yet. And I certainly wouldn't trust it blindly. When I have it turned on, I always have my hand on the steering wheel, ready to take over, because there were a few times, whether it be there's a dead animal on the road, or it's just not doing a good job of keeping the lane when we're going around a roundabout or something like that, we're just disengaged and completely unexpectedly disengaged. Really caught me off guard. So that's my experience. That's my opinion. Maybe in the future, I'll change my opinion. I'm sure I will as it continues to get better over time. But as of right now, I gotta be honest with you, not a big fan of the autopilot. One thing that I don't love about Tesla in Australia and also in other countries, FSD is not available. I feel like we're really missing out there. Now, look, I'm not really across all of the rules and regulations as to why that's the case. I know as of the time of recording that there is currently talk that Tesla is on track to roll out and deploy FSD fully autonomous by, maybe March or June of 2026. So that's exciting. Now, I wonder what that means for countries like Australia, because personally speaking, I would love to try FSD. Currently can't do that in Australia. So for me to experience FSD, I would have to go to a supported country like the United States, for example. So, it's something I don't really love. But if you've tried FSD, let me know. If you haven't tried FSD, let me know if you would trust it or not. Personally speaking, I'd love to try it, but can't at the moment. Maybe this is a funny one, and I also haven't seen anybody else talk about this. If there's a way to solve this problem besides just wearing a hat or having more hair or something, let me know. But I think if you drive a Tesla, and this is also true of the Model Y, in a hot place like Australia in summer, for example, you're going to get a sunburnt head. There's nowhere to hide. It's like, it was pretty hot when we were driving. And the same thing happened earlier this year when we were driving the Tesla Model 3 in Western Australia. There is a lot of sun, and often it's just scorching hot, and there's just nowhere to hide. Yeah, okay, sure, the air conditioning is good, but that doesn't stop the sun just beaming through the sunroof. And yeah, I think you're going to get a sunburned head. So if there's a solution other than just wearing a hat, let me know. I'm sure the design is suitable and appropriate for most places, most climates. But just keep in mind, if you live in a place that gets really hot in summer, yeah, you're going to want to think twice about this, especially if you're a little bit sparse on the hair. The next one, it's maybe good, maybe bad, really depends on what you want, but the lack of the instrument cluster. Hey, if you're a minimalist and you like simplicity, maybe you'll chalk it up as something good. But if you prefer the bells and whistles, the knobs, and the things that you can reach out and actually put your hands on and actually touch, you're probably going to find the Tesla Model Y to be a little bit lacking in that regard. Personally speaking, I'm kind of used to it now. It is what it is. Although I do like to be able to touch knobs and buttons and those sorts of things. Like I've talked about when I drove the BMW iX3 earlier this year, I really like having so many things to touch. So hey, it's really personal preference. You'll probably get used to it very quickly if you do drive the Tesla Model Y. It's just something to be aware of. It's probably going to be a bit of a shock when you first get in the car and look around and think, hey, where is everything? Is this all there is? All right, the last negative is I don't think the range is fantastic. Now, interestingly, when we were in South Australia driving the car, we had it for about a week, 6 days maybe approximately. I heard something come over the radio. There was a news story that broke while I was actually driving the Tesla Model Y. And this was Australian news. And the news was that EVs are disappointing when it comes to their advertised range versus the actual range. But interestingly, the Tesla Model Y is the best out of the whole bunch. Now, I don't know if that's true. It's something I heard on the radio, but anecdotally speaking, from my own experience driving the Tesla Model Y recently, yeah, not fantastic. Not fantastic. And it was kind of especially difficult because where we were staying around that area down to the south of Adelaide, there weren't many options for charging with the Tesla supercharger network. So we found ourselves having to drive sort of half an hour to get to a charger, which of course you've got to take that into account before you start driving, right? So it was kind of a case of like, all right, we're going to charge up today, drive back to the area where we're staying, and you've got to make sure, like, before you get down to, let's say, 100 kilometers range remaining available, you're heading back to that Tesla supercharger. So the range wasn't great. It's fine. It was a rental. So perhaps if you had the charger at home, no worries, no big deal at all. But just keep in mind that if you're renting the vehicle or if you're planning trips, always take a look at the charging stations, right? It's obvious, goes without saying, but yeah, we had to recharge 2 or 3 times. I think it was 3 times we recharged, and we only had it 6-ish days, and we drove 479 kilometers. So yeah, look, we've probably been a little bit too cautious, and maybe we were charging up any chance that we got. If we were near that charger, we knew like, hey, let's charge up now while we're going to get some lunch or do some shopping or something like that. But range isn't great, in my opinion. All right, let's change gears now and talk about the positives because everything else is great. And out of the negatives, honestly, they're no big deal, in my opinion. The biggest deal breaker out of what I just mentioned, in my opinion, is just that the vehicle's maybe not appropriate if you've got small spaces. But the positives, it looks great. It's a pleasure to drive. It's just, wow, it's so comfortable. The Model Y, compared to the Model 3, has so much extra space inside. It really, really surprised me. So much more storage space for bags as well. Like, if you look at the cars from outside, comparing the Model Y to the Model 3, they don't look that different physically in how big they are. But wow, they've really managed to pack a lot more available storage space into the Model Y. It's fantastic. We're definitely going to rent the car again in the future for other trips that we take. And I would say it's appropriate even if we're traveling with another person and another bag. It's really, really spacious. So comfort, space is great. Something that I really liked discovering, I had previously complained about the Tesla Model 3 that I didn't know how to make small incremental adjustments to the adaptive cruise control system, the target speed. I didn't know how to change the target speed when I drove the Model 3. Now, look, if you own a Tesla, I know that's kind of silly, but I just, jumped into these cars. Nobody really showed me how to do anything. And I was just trying to figure things out for myself. But I did figure it out. If you know, it's very easy, right? It's just on the right-hand side of the steering wheel. Just use your right thumb there. If the autopilot or the adaptive cruise control is enabled, yeah, just it's very easy to adjust the target speed. So I like that. And it's really, really cool. In fact, I like it more than the BYD Atto 3, where, yeah, there are workarounds, but it's not easy to make those 1 kilometer per hour incremental changes to the target speed, like you can do in the BMW iX3 and also in the Tesla. So that was great. Something else that I like discovering that I've previously complained about regarding the Tesla is that when you're reversing, the mirrors on the left and right of the car, they automatically tilt down and look at the ground. I'm like, I don't like that. Now, for some people, that's probably what they want. Not for me. But I discovered that's quite easy to disable that feature if you don't like it. So it's really your choice. You can have that auto tilt of the mirrors enabled or disabled, completely your choice. But just overall, like, wow, this car is great. If you live sort of out of the city, so small spaces are not a concern for you. If you're looking for an EV, if you like the Tesla proposition, this could be the car for you. It's great for families. It's great for doing longer trips. It's very comfortable. It's just a pleasure. It's an all-round pleasure. Now, I will say, as I kind of hinted at earlier in this video, I'm currently not a big fan of the autopilot at all. And that's not just the Tesla. It's kind of every EV that I've driven. And I haven't tried FSD yet. But driving manually, wow, this Tesla Model Y is just a pleasure to drive manually. It is really, really nice. So overall, my first impressions of the Tesla Model Y is that it's a great car. It's a pleasure to drive, and I'll certainly be back again for more driving in the future. But let me know what you think. If you have a Tesla Model Y, if you've driven one, if you're considering getting one, let me know what you think about it in the comments and how it compares to other EVs. I'd love to hear what you think. And if I've missed anything that you thought was important, let me know as well. And by the way, if you ever want to get in touch and we can connect, and maybe I can feature your EV here on the channel in the future, drop me an email, get in touch. We'll see if we can make it happen. Until then, have a great day. See you next time.